need them to work out. Here with a pregame show. I'll probably only be on for about 30 minutes or so. So it's not going to be as long as some of the pregame shows have been. But, we're here to talk Bulls, Warriors. Really excited for this game to see how our team bounces back. We've been talking about their resiliency all year. It's going to be really key to see how that resiliency shows up tonight or not. Bulls have been getting a lot of shit thrown their way. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think, Bulls are going to be missing a lot of players, as we know. The Warriors are going to be without Gary Payton II, Clay, and Draymond. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting night, depending on who shows up and what happens, man. So, yeah, it is what it is there. Leon, live stream on the video. So I'm started to do, if I do pregame shows, usually I do them from over here. So I think this is my third pregame show, and I've done them all from over here. I may even start doing halftime hangouts over here. Like the shorter lives I'll do here. The longer lives I'll do over on the other set, just because of, when things go on longer in the comments and that computer's better, I don't want it to like delay or anything. So, but yeah. What's up? We need this W tonight. Absolutely. The Bulls need to have a good showing. We already a nationally televised game again. The Bulls need to have a good showing. We have another nationally televised game on Monday on the Martin Luther King game when we play Memphis. And Ja Morant, listen, Ja is going to. But let's take it a day at a time. We got the Warriors up tonight. Let's focus on that. So it's Clay and Dre for sure. Yes, they're for sure. That's Clay and Dre are not playing. It's not happening. So, Gary Payton II's not playing either. And that's good. Payton's not playing. Remember last time he had Zach in a box. This is the thing this is how I feel about it. It's good for Zach to play against that type of competition because we need him to get playoff ready. That's the type of shit that's going to get him playoff ready. So, yeah, I agree with you. Gary Payton, I'm surprised more people haven't asked him about taking on the glove moniker. Maybe he needs to be a better defender for longer. But it's important that Zach faces that type of competition. So, I know we want to get a win and everything, but I would have liked to see Zach overcome that this time. My cat keeps doing shit over on the side that's kind of freaking me out. Keep in mind, I know you guys don't really care. Y'all here to talk Bulls. First time ever having a cat. Got it from my daughter. Cats do some weird shit. Weird shit, man. Like, legit. Like, I don't know how this cat makes it from one side of the house to the. Keep in mind, we live in a, about 2,500 square foot townhouse. Pretty big, right? The cat makes it from one side to the other, and I had just saw her upstairs, and I walked down here. Now she's downstairs, and it's weird. It's weird. Sorry. Side note. Any word on Caruso? LOL, you're my go-to for Bulls. Caruso, the Bulls actually just came out and said they don't expect him back until next Wednesday at the earliest, and that's when he's going to be reevaluated. So Wednesday against Cleveland is probably the first time we'll see Caruso back if he's reevaluated and looks good and looks like he's ready to compete. So don't expect Caruso. And tonight, don't expect Caruso in Boston. Don't expect Caruso in Memphis. The earliest is going to be looking like Cleveland, which is maybe a good tune-up game for him because we're definitely going to need him against Milwaukee. So we'll see. We'll see there. What time is the game? Weird times. It's 7:30 Eastern, so 6:30 Central. That's crazy. I was just wondering if you were doing a pregame live show, and then I got the notification a minute later. Well, I'm glad you got the notification. YouTube. So this is what's been going on. So for those who haven't been getting notifications of lives or when videos are recorded, I figured it out. So YouTube has like this built-in thing with channels that get a lot of subscribers in a short amount of time. So it's only 14 days into January. We've got like 1.3 thousand added subscribers in just those 14 days. So I think they've limited, like, just trying to make sure that I'm not doing no scam shit, which kind of makes sense, but it sucks. Sucks in a degree. Curry going to struggle today. Double team his ass. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears. Julie in the building. Hey, he's dropping by to say hi, waiting for the game. Hey, me too. I hope to see you at halftime hangout and after the game. Thank you for stopping by, Julia. I feel you be. Oh, I have dogs. That's why it's so weird. Like, I'm a big, like, I have two, like, 80-pound dogs. I have a half husky, half German shepherd, and he's the other one is half lab, half Australian shepherd. They're both big as shit. So I only got the cat for my daughter. I'm a Akita dude. I love Akitas. We had an Akita for a long time. I want another Akita. Last Akita we had was like 120 pounds. Unfortunately, we had to give him away when we moved because the first place that we moved to, he wasn't allowed. The breed wasn't allowed. But yeah, I'm absolutely a dog person. Cats, I was terrified of cats for the longest. Like, this cat's cool. She just does creepy shit sometimes that I'm just not used to. Like, I was on work and she like jumped on the back of my desk chair while I was on like a Zoom call randomly. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So, side note, this cat, I need to vent about this cat shit. Not cat shit, the cat itself. Hope to win this game, especially with some of our best defenders, some of their best defenders. Yeah, the Bulls need to be locked in. Bulls definitely need to be locked in. Who was out for the Warriors today? I already talked about it a little bit. Clay's out, Draymond's out, Gary Payton the second's out. Wiseman's out, but that's who's out for the Warriors today. Hey, brother Haize, bounce back game. Let's get it. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. Bulls need to show up big time today. Vucevic should be able to get off this game, so let's go. Yeah, I mean, ideally, he should be able to, and hopefully he does. Like, we got to I want to see a bounce back game from Vooch. I want to see a bounce back game also from Ayo. I know Ayo's a rookie, and he's going to have up and down games, but, you know, it seemed really like last time. I don't know if it was the stage that got to him. I don't know what it was, but, yeah, it definitely Ayo got in his head last game. We want to see Ayo bounce back as well. He's going to be key to what the Bulls do and can be key, especially in the playoffs, to what the Bulls have going on. So, what the fuck? Sorry, side note, my daughter texted me. All right, back on track. All right, let's say I'm calling it 32 assists tonight. We need it, right? Our streak's still alive, right? When we have 30 assists or more, we're undefeated, so we need that. Vooch had a decent game last game, in my opinion, except for the boards. Thoughts? I would say pick and roll defense was a little bit difficult for him too. I would say that he didn't shoot the best. He didn't shoot the worst that he has this season. But, you know, I think it was a tough game for everybody, right? A lot of the things that affected Vooch affected a lot of the players on the team in last game. But I think it was more than just the boards. What's up, bro? What's going on? From Belgium. All right, shout out. Thank you for joining us from Belgium, man. What time is it there? But so tomorrow's video after the game, of course, tonight you'll get a post-game live stream. And then tomorrow I'm going to really be breaking down this interview that happened with Michael Reinsdorf. And I think he dropped some hints in there that may be hinting towards the Bulls being allowed to go into the luxury tax. And as we know, especially for a team that has a big extension for Zach, Kobe, if don't trade him, an extension's coming up for him. If the Bulls are going, if the ownership is going to allow AK and Eversley to go into the luxury tax, that whole conversation of going in now rather than building for the future may completely be eliminated because the Bulls may have the capital and be allowed to do both. But I'll break that down in tomorrow's video. Warriors fan, if Bulls win, we didn't have Green. Shout out to you. I mean, hey, it's true. What do you think of listen, the Covington thing? If Covington was the player he was even 3 years ago, I just listen. I mean, he'll definitely be better than, like, you got to think like in Alfonso McKinney. He'll probably be better than, even if you keep McKinney. He'll be more consistent like a Troy Brown Jr. But I don't think Robert Covington is exactly the answer to a lot of what we need. If this was the same Robert Covington from years ago, of course, especially defensively. But I just don't know. Like, I'm not going to turn my nose down at it, right? Though, or up at it. I don't know which one's the bad way in that phrase. But if he comes here, I expect him to be able to contribute. I just don't know if he brings everything of what we quite need right now. But yeah. What do you think Bulls need to do to win this game? Execute on both sides of the ball. That's the first and foremost thing. Play solid defense. Get your head up. I'm not even going to get into forcing turnovers or anything like that. They need to play solid defense and shoot the ball well and get everybody going. Get that ball movement going. Do you still work full-time? Yes, I still have a full-time job. That's why the benefit. So the reason why I'm able to drop videos randomly in the middle of the day when we have news is because my studio is literally in the basement of my home. both sets. So both spots you've seen me stream from, that's in the studio that I built. I have 3 different sets in this studio. So I'm literally able, what I tend to do is I do my video for the day, and then I leave usually everything on for the most part. Then I just have to come down and turn and click on the lights and stuff like that, and then I'm rolling. Get the video recorded, get it up. So yeah, I still work full time. Lil B Bass God was on NBC Sports Chicago's podcast. Really? That's crazy, man. He doesn't even strike me as somebody who would know sports very well. How do you feel about Malcolm Hill? I mean, I haven't seen him to really get a good feeling on. I mean, I've looked at stats all day, but stats really don't tell you, especially when they're G League stats. I mean, the shooting percentages you like to take a look at, right? He shoots efficiently, not great from 3, but he shoots efficiently from 3, and he's just averaging over 50% shooting in the G League. So from that standpoint, you expect him to do some things. He doesn't have the greatest size or anything like that, but we know with Billy Donovan, if you're 6'6", you can play power forward for Billy Donovan. So, but yeah, it remains to be. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get this game, but we'll see. What's your reaction to JJ saying the Bulls are the 5th best team in the East? Who the fuck said that? I didn't even hear that. Who said that? Petty Roosevelt needs words. Who said that? Drop links, because I'm going to find them. You may have just given Petty Roosevelt another target. Chris Knuckles, let's go Bulls. 34-year Bulls fan here. Well, shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Warriors smacked the Bulls last time. Bulls got smacked by the Nets. This is a must-win. Then the Nets turned around and got smacked. Got to work tonight, so I'm going to miss the game. Just hope they have a good showing. Hey, we'll inform you, my brother. It's night here. Love your show, man. Thank you, bro. I'm glad you enjoyed. And because I grew up overseas, right? So a lot of like times of watching Bulls games or sports in general was literally at weird times for us. Because I grew up in Germany and Italy. I lived there for long times. I lived in Tennessee for a long period there too. So I have huge amount of respect for overseas viewers of my channel and Bulls fans, because I know what you guys have to go through to watch games. If everyone's shooting well today, do you think it'll be a closer game than if they weren't? Well, of course. Of course. That goes without saying. Hope we play better tonight than what we did against the Nets, for sure. For sure. We're changing the audio panels to Bears colors for next season pods. No, the audio panel. The other set wasn't even for this podcast. Like, I have another podcast. I have a podcast called The Awakened Soul. That's everything Black culture, social activism, mental health, things like that. And that set was built for that. Like, I've been podcasting for like 4 or 5 years. So I just started the Bulls project. So that just red and black are my favorite colors. Red is my favorite color overall. The Bulls have been my favorite team since I was a kid. But yeah, that was not meant just for the Bulls. So that's how that worked. But no, I'm not changing the panels. The Bears podcast will probably specifically over here. So what I plan on doing is changing this background, and I'm going to have a big ass like Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, and some just great Bulls. And you see how Kendrick Lamar and Eminem are up there now, but I'm going to do a little bit further down. I'm going to do larger paintings for a bunch of Chicago sports, and that's going to be the backdrop. So get ready to be disappointed tonight. We'll see. We'll see. And I wouldn't be disappointed. Depends on how they play. I feel like Patrick Williams can be like a prime LaMarcus Aldridge, but more athletic. Listen, I don't like comparing players to players, because I think everyone's a different type of player. I think Patrick Williams has the potential to be great. Like, and by that, I don't necessarily, people think great only means if you can score 20 points or more. I really think that this Bulls team, on this team, especially when you look at who he's going to be paired with for the most part of his career, especially if Kobe's here, he's never going to have to score a lot. But I think if Patrick Williams can be a great defender who gets you 8 to 10 rebounds a game and score about 16 to 18 points, that's all you need from Patrick Williams. That's a key part, especially it gives you versatility in how you can build your team. Because if you have a player like that in Patrick Williams, really how you fill everything else out is really going to determine what you need from him. Do you need him to play the 3? Do you need him to play the 4? So Patrick Williams is going to be here for a long time, I think. JJ Redick did. Okay. Been running the roast JJ Redick for a minute. Are you from Illinois? So no, my dad's from Chicago. My dad grew up in Chicago. That's how I became a Chicago sports fan. So of course it's like ingrained in me. I'm a Bears, Bulls, and White Sox fan. So you can see it's been tough for me in some of those for a long, long time, especially since the Bears haven't won. Even though we made it to a Super Bowl in 2011, the Bears haven't won a Super Bowl since the year I was born. It's fucking crazy. What do you think Kobe White is going to evolve into throughout his career? I recently bought a couple PSA 10s. Mint Kobe White's from my dad has a bunch of Kobe White rookie cards as well. I think Kobe White, if it's really he's only 21 years old, right? And even the defender that he's turning into, I didn't see that happening, at least not this soon. I thought if Kobe Wright did turn into a solid defender, it wouldn't happen until much later into his career when he's kind of more of a veteran. He gets those veteran moves. But I really do think Kobe can really develop into easily an 18 point per game scorer off the bench, if not more, and he's going to be that spark plug. And if he keeps getting better defensively like we've seen, he's going to be a key six man for any team, and possibly a team looking at him to be a starter, depending on, if a team goes after him and when he's unrestricted free agent. So for sure. Just FYI for the Caruso questions that normally show up, they said he's out to the Cavs game. Yep, out to the Cavs game next week. Warriors always smack us. You just want to see effort from our team on both ends and not a blowout for sure, for sure. So the Bulls feel some type of way about the Warriors playing Klay against the Bucks, but not the Bulls. Like insinuating they need Klay to beat the Bucks, but they don't need him to beat the Bulls. No, not necessarily. I mean, you could look at it that way for sure, but I don't necessarily look at it that way. I don't, and that just may be me. Ricardo Perez, super chat. Thank you so much, bro. This channel is making the Bulls season better. Well, that's what I like to hear, man. That means a lot to me. That's what I want to add right to what's going on. Hopefully I can make the offseason a lot. We have some really interesting things planned for the offseason already. I know you guys may say, hey, it's way too early to be thinking about the offseason, but it doesn't matter what the Bulls do. Just content-wise, I have a lot of good content planned for you guys in the offseason, and I think you'll get more creative content during the offseason because I have to be, right? And so because of that, I hope you guys really like some of the things that I do with this channel in the offseason. I'm thinking about that ahead of time because while the podcast probably won't be daily at that point, I still want to give you guys 2 to 3 episodes a week during the off season, and I want those to be really meaningful. So be on the lookout for that. I got some crazy stuff planned, which is crazy because JJ was on Russo's nuts when, yeah, I know that's what surprises me about that too. I was really hoping Alex played tonight. Could have needed him for the defensive energy. I mean, we can always need him, but the key thing is we need him to be healthy. So whatever it takes, if it takes him being out another month, if it means he's going to be healthy for us in the playoffs, I'll take it. And this is also giving Io chances to continually develop, which could help us and pay dividends even further into the playoffs for sure. So also, it was JJ Redick that said the Bulls are the 5th best in the East if Miami, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn are healthy, and Philly after a Simmons trade. He said it before the Nets game on ESPN. Oh, well, it is what it is. You should have your dad on the show sometime. I plan to. That may be an off-season thing. Because I definitely don't see my dad doing anything live. So yeah, I would love to have my dad. Love to have my dad on the channel. We need Pat Will to be a reliable scorer and lockdown defender 1 through 4. He has all the physicality to do so. No, we don't need him to be a scorer. Not on this team. We don't need him to be a scorer at all. We need him to be able to confidently knock down open shots, especially at corner 3. But I don't think we need him to be a scorer anytime soon. The way DeMar ripped that towel the other night, he's going for 30 tonight. Mark my words, Wardell will shoot less than 40% from 3. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, my brother. Julia, Haize, I got to stay off Biatch Fidel Twitter. He had the audacity to say the Bulls are going to be nice, but they don't have a star power to match Brooklyn. Pissed again. I mean, star power is different. Yeah, stars get you so much. Like, the Lakers have star power, but that's not translating to win. So, I mean, don't let him frustrate you. Don't let Benedict Arnold frustrate you because Petty Roosevelt got your back, and it's coming soon. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 seasons. They're just giving him rest. Yeah, for sure. He needs it. Yeah, man, bring Pops on the show. Hey, it'll happen. You can Bull Central need spots on the presser after games. Hey, listen, I will say this. Like, again, this isn't to like be cocky or look too far ahead or anything like this. If this channel keeps growing the way that it looks to, and if we get on the radar of anything, I would not even be opposed to moving to Chicago to be able to maybe take more advantages of not only working with Chicago creatives, but things like that. So I'm a military brat, so moving has never bothered me at all. Never. So we'll see. We'll see whatever's in the future. Papa Haize damn near talk crazy on a live. Listen, my dad is y'all think Petty Roosevelt's crazy. Like, my whole family is really not crazy. Let me not say crazy, but my whole family is outspoken, and they raised us to be outspoken people. And our love language in my family is literally talking shit to each other. You will never hear people roast each other in love like my family does on a regular basis. My mama, my 60-year-old mama, see, she's older than 60, but I'm not going to tell her age on the show, literally will roast the hell out of somebody in love and have you thinking, do you really love me? Or like, what was the purpose of that? That's why, like, when I go into these spaces where I'm like roasting people and commenters and people are like, calm down, Haize is like, look, I'm not even really mad. These jokes they flow so naturally. And it's honestly scary because if y'all knew what went on in my head. Do you think Daniel Arturo should get called up? And if it's possible to move Marco to the power forward? Listen, Marco's not ready. He's not ready for NBA competition right now. Marco is going to develop his body over the course of a summer, and then we'll probably see what we have in Marco next year. But I don't really know much about Arturo. And I didn't know much about Tyler Cook, and Tyler Cook came and showed his ass. So, do you think the Lakers-Kings 2002 Western Conference Finals was rigged? Jesus, you're taking me back. I haven't thought about those Western Conference Finals in years. I mean, Tim Donaghy, which was like the ref who like was a whistleblower. I think he alluded to that, right? Or did he flat out say it? So, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, so absolutely believe it is. Look at what the NBA did to like the Chris Paul trade for the Lakers. Like the NBA absolutely does shit. Hopefully we can get all these injuries out now and stay healthy in the playoffs. Hey, that's what I hope as well. Bulls are going to win tonight from 9-0 Marcus. From your mouth to God's ears, my brother. Random, but the beard clean, my guy. Thank you, Ryan. Listen, one of my monikers, and I don't use it on this podcast a lot, is the Red Bearded Assassin. I actually have a bunch of merch for my other podcast. This is Red Bearded Assassin merch. I have this partnership with this beard care line. The beard is, and it's so funny because when I grew a beard, I had no idea. Like beard culture, no idea women love beard. I grew beard because my job one year for any man that did No Shave November was donating money for men that did that, and I'm all about charity. So I did it, and it was my first time ever letting my facial hair grow out. I didn't even know my beard was red until then. And so that's because I always kept my facial hair really low, and I loved it. And I've been bearded now for 7, almost 8 years. I've had a beard, so. Who cares about what anyone on ESPN says? We already proved them wrong. Team just needs to keep care of business. That's what matters. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who would you rather Bulls face in the Eastern Conference Finals, Milwaukee or Brooklyn? Okay, listen. So I'm one of those people which storylines matter to me, and I love the ability to have a storyline. So beating the reigning NBA champions in the Eastern Conference Finals would be huge for us. Beating the Nets would be huge as well, but just for that, being able to have that storyline, I'm going to pick the Milwaukee Bucks. I like your show, bro. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Damo. Damo, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being a part of the channel and helping us grow. My family's the same way. Unless someone else starts talking shit, that's exactly how my family is. Like, we can talk shit to each other all day, and people from the outside looking in will probably be like, do these motherfuckers even love each other? But if you come for a member of the family, listen, I feel sorry for y'all. I feel sorry for anyone who comes from my family. I'm seeing Mo Bamba and Onik, hopefully available, AK scheming. Here's the thing. I don't think that if the Bulls do make a deal, it's going to be for a young player who's somewhat of a project. I think it's going to be a veteran who they know what they can get something from. With that being said, if they're going to go for somebody who's technically still young and still has a lot of room to develop, Mo Bamba wouldn't necessarily be bad. I mean, I don't, because he wouldn't be looked at to do much here. Yeah. D93, I don't think Marco will last. You're not the only one who shared examples shared that opinion. Doug Tonis on the Bulls beat, which is like one of the longest running Bulls, even though he's taking like long hiatuses, he thinks that Marco, he's called Marco a bust already. And he's picked a lot of he's predicted a lot of like projection pretty well as far as players go. Now he's been wrong a lot too, but what I'll say this about Marco is that you never really know how a player is going to develop until they actually get into, and sometimes even if Marco ends up a bust, that doesn't mean he'll stay. Well, we've seen players be bust on teams, then go somewhere else, and it changed. This is what I'll say. If AK and Eversley believe in him, there's some potential there. Now potential isn't always realized, and maybe we need to taper those expectations. It may not be that he develops into a starter. It may not be that he even develops into the first big off the bench. It may be that he develops into one of those players who sticks around the league for 8 to 9 years and contributes 10, 12 of quality minutes off the bench. And that again, most people in their lifetime would take that career. So, we'll see. We'll see. 06, 07 was the last time the Bears won the Super Bowl. Yes, that's what I said. I said 11. Yeah, it was 07. I was thinking about the Bulls team. It was 07 because it was the same year that the Bulls swept the Miami Heat after they defended the title. You're right. It was that 06, 07 year. I said 2011, I think. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it was 06, 07. We should have Alex Caruso back by next week. Yep, and the Cavs game. Good channel, dude. Thank you, Marco. I appreciate it, bro. Bro, do you have any merch we need? So I'm working on Chicago Bulls Central merch. The supplier that I go through for my other podcast merch, I actually sent, it was beanies, it was long sleeve tees, short sleeve tees, and basketball shorts for Chicago Bulls Central. And they literally emailed me back and was like, look, we know we do a lot of work for you, but the fact that it says Chicago Bulls in the name, we don't know if that would create some type of trademark issues. Even though I have the name Chicago Bulls Central copywritten and trademarked. I do my thing. So they didn't feel comfortable. So I'm trying to find a new supplier, and I understand it from their standpoint. Yeah, it sucks to hear that, especially when I've been working with this company for like 3 years. But I understand it, right? It's a weird gray area when it comes to sports teams, and the fact that I have Chicago Bulls Central. I need to talk to probably Knicks Fan TV if I can see who he uses to do his merch, since he has Knicks in maybe because it's not New York Knicks. I don't know, because I have Chicago Bulls in it. Maybe that's what the issue was. You're a conspiracy theorist? Yes, bro. Big time. If you like conspiracy theory podcasts, listen to The Infinite Fringe. It's hosted by my boy Billy Ray Valentine. That's not his real name, but that's what he uses because, again, he doesn't want his name out there. He's a conspiracy theorist. One of the best conspiracy theory podcasts you'll ever find out there. The Infinite Fringe. So if you're into conspiracy theories, look that out. Which players will step up off the bench tonight? Kobe. We need a big contribution from Kobe for sure. We need Kobe and Io to do their 1-2 thing again. But outside of that, well, McKinney's probably going to be starting, right? I'm saying that Troy Brown Jr. is going to have a big defensive night. Well, big in relation to his usual. Not the 6 or 7 is still again, what he does may not even show up on the stat sheet big time, but I think we're going to get some quality defensive minutes from Troy Brown Jr. tonight. Just got off work at the school. A lot of Warriors fans in my class. Hope I get bragging rights Tuesday. The one Cavs fan in the room still doesn't let me forget about that game. Hey, we need to revenge that so you can have bragging rights for sure. Aloha from the French room. Well, hey, bro, I appreciate you. Aloha. I find it funny how much the loss against the Nets were made out to be bigger, especially when the Nets got blown out by AKC, a.k.a. the team that got blown out by 75. Hey, it's the NBA, man. We have a lot of projects in Chicago. We're getting either a vet or young cat with experience or a project that has already shown major flashes. I think it's gonna be more so a vet. That's what I think. But again, AK and Eversley are fucking masterminds, man. Masterminds. I want the Bulls to beat Milwaukee in the second round and the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. Hey, that'll be a hell of a gauntlet, right? Eliminate all questions there. Why am I looking at Jeff Green like he'd be perfect for us? Besides the older age, he's still showing his athleticism and durability with the Nuggets. See, and that's the type of thing that I think that AK and Eversley are going to do, because I believe that they have their long-term starting power forward in Patrick Williams. So that type, like that level, the Derek Favors, Tristan Thompson. Now, I will say this. Especially because Harrison Barnes gets a lot of his threes from the corner three. He's really elite from that corner three. If the Bulls can trade for Harrison Barnes using like Troy Brown Jr. or trade exception or whatever else without giving up Kobe or Pat Will, that would probably be the perfect one in my opinion. I know he's not a traditional big, right? But again, I hope the Nets and Bucks have to play each other in the second round, have them go at it to see us in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. Listen, that would be a great series to watch as well. I'm not pissed about the Nets loss anymore. We got blown out at the end of a back-to-back. The Nets did the same thing last night to the freaking Thunder, for sure. This may not be Marco's system. I never like to say an NBA player is that bad to where he doesn't fit on the roster. Everyone just needs a shot. Only Denzel Valentine can fit in the NBA, can't fit in the NBA system. Listen, his gums, man. I'm telling you right now. I guarantee you, if he got a gum transplant, Denzel Valentine would be 6 man of the league. Let me stop. Oh man. Who would you like to see the Bulls pick? I haven't really paid attention to who's all free agents next year. You look towards that more towards after the All-Star breaks, more towards the end of the season. But I haven't really. I'm gonna do heavy free agency, and that type of talk towards the end of the season. I haven't really paid much attention to. I'm really engulfed in this season. Haize Drizzle, what up, my boy? What's going on, Darius Wilkins? Thank you for joining us, my brother. I missed what that is two. How you feel about the Bulls targeting? But nope. Fuck no. Nah. That's a meme. Y'all need to turn that into a GIF because I just said no probably more times than anybody in like that 3-second time period. But no. McKinney is going to be playing against his former team. Hey, this get back game for both teams. Yeah. Carnell, checking in Bulls World. Let's get this win, lose, or draw. See red. Absolutely, Carnell Randolph. Absolutely. Would you rather have a backup center Serge Ibaka or Drummond? Or Bradley? Listen, I hate Tony Bradley Jr. I don't like Bradley. So I'm gonna say Serge if I've had to pick between those three. We can't trade our young three, Io, Kobe, and P. Will. They have a real mentor in DeMar, and I hate for them to get traded and have revenge games against us. Listen, I want to see, again, Io, Kobe, P. Will, all 20 or 21 years old. I don't want to give up any three of them. For everyone, like, again, when you can contend while also develop, you do that. And the fact that DeMar's contract's 3 years, all right, Vooch, we only have one more year left under contract. Even if he resigns for a smaller deal, we know Lonzo's going to be here for longer. Listen, you keep those players together unless one of them just isn't showing signs of development, because that could really extend and keep you in playoff and more contention for the longevity of Zach's extension when he signs it. So yeah. How are you Bulls has to win tonight? What? How are you Bulls has to win tonight? I hope they do. We lost to them. Now Clay is back. They're going to try it. Clay is out tonight. Andre Mon's out tonight. But the Bulls do have to win tonight if that's what you're getting at. Millar. I always get tongue-tied on that one. What's up, Haize? A new day-to-day optimism is sky high from tonight's game to the end of the season. I'm looking forward to us finishing 70-12. Hey, man. I would go after Tristan Thompson. He may be bought out of his contract with Sacramento. Yeah, there's all rumors of that. Bulls got to win tonight no matter who Warriors have. Yep, for sure. Bob Lester, why we aren't – listen, because Boogie doesn't give us what we need. Like, listen, and the thing is that – and I understand it, right? And even me, I've said it. I wouldn't have minded if the Bulls signed DeMarcus Cousins. But let's be clear. DeMarcus doesn't bring a lot of what we need. Especially when people are talking about we need a defensive, rim-protecting – big. Like, DeMarcus does some things great, right? Especially if when he has that ball handling that almost nobody at his size has. But he doesn't bring a lot of what the Bulls need. Again, especially with Derrick Jones Jr. and Javonte, if the Bulls would have brought him in, I wouldn't have minded it. But I think if you're talking about long term in this season, DeMarcus doesn't do a lot of what we need. He doesn't do a lot of what we need. I love your channel, bro. Thank you, 9 Marcus. I appreciate you, bro. And thank you for the continued support. You're in here a lot, bro, and I appreciate that. Pat is the future. Hey, he's part of the future. Again, I don't know if he's going to develop into the type of player you can build a team around, but I do trust that Patrick Williams is going to be one of those players that you always are appreciated that he's on your team, and he's going to be versatile, and depending on how you finish out the rest of the roster. PJ Washington could be a nice option to fill in for P. Will. PJ Washington, especially because he's been coming off the bench more than anything this season, I believe, could be a nice piece for the get-go. Solid three-point shooter. He doesn't bring a lot of size. He doesn't bring a lot of shot blocking and things like that. But again, as a piece that, looking long-term, not just this season, when Patrick Williams is back to bring that 1-2 punch off, look at if you bring in a player like PJ Washington, you have 1-2 punches at the point guard, the shooting guard, and at the power forward. That's dangerous. I think having DeMar DeRozan helps Zach LaVine become more of a complete player, and then winning will open up the superstar in Zach LaVine, because right now I feel like he's an all-star. Yeah, for sure. That's why they did that. And I think not only him, but they looked at what DeMar could bring to Patrick Williams in mentorship, what he can bring to Io in mentorship. Listen, having 3 years of DeMar DeRozan mentoring your younger players, hopefully by the end of that contract, when Kobe, Io are 24, Patrick Williams will be 22, going on 23 then, you have players that are just they even though they're like in their mid-20s, they're way more polished because not only have they been contending now and going through playoff battles, they learned from a player like DeMar DeRozan. And then talk about Zach. What Zach's learning from DeMar in the mid-range, we've seen him steal DeMar's moves. If he can learn to also get to the line and with purpose like DeMar does, that is a dangerous player. I honestly feel like P. Will isn't a 4 like Kobe wasn't a true point guard. Would be the best coming off the bench. I don't know about his. I don't know if he would be the best coming off the bench. But again, in Billy Donovan's system, he can absolutely play 4. Now, if we're talking about a more traditional system, no, he's more of a 3 than a 4. But with the way that this team plays, I think that he can definitely be a 4 for us. Here's the thing, DeMar for sure. But I also think if you do bring in a player like a Harrison Barnes, he could very well be like, look at the and finals aside, but look at the way that Harrison Barnes contributed to that Warriors team that won the title. We know that in the finals he had some bad games there, but like that almost is a great role for Patrick Williams on this team, right? On the way that this team's currently constructed. PJ needs a contract. Brittany Renner got to get paid, sadly. I was happy to see you pair up with Locked On Bulls, bro. You getting the name in the shy. Keep going. Y'all chemistry together was like DeMar, Zach, and Vooch. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I think part of that is, and I don't know if you heard on that podcast, I think I said it when they were on my podcast, is that for anyone who's been listening to Locked On Bulls for a while, and I know a lot of people leave voicemail, so you guys may not remember me, I was CJ from the 314. I used to text and call all the time. My voice has been on Locked On Bulls probably 10 times in the last couple of years because I used to leave voicemails. So I know that Big Dave has been there about a year now. He's been on Locked On Bulls, if not a little over a year. I can't remember when Jordan left. But for me, I think it was easy for me to fit in them because I've been listening to them for such a long time. I was listening to them when they were the Debatables. And so it was kind of easy because it was our first time actually meeting and like being real people. I've known their styles. I've listened to them for so long. So like I knew what to expect from Matt. I knew what to expect from Big Dave. So even though they didn't know me, I was like, I kind of knew what to expect. And especially when you heard me on Locked On Bulls, I like to think that I fit in there pretty nicely because I've listened to that podcast for years. So I kind of know how they operate and how they run. All right, I saw this. Hey, bro, I saw you on Locked On Bulls. Dope cross. Any thoughts between you and Bull Central? Also on Tourist Fan Club. Also Windy City Breeze. So I've talked to Pat the designer. I need to catch up with him. We were in the DMs chatting probably like 2-3 weeks ago. At this point, he had just moved. But we're gonna me and Pat the designer are gonna do something at some point, guaranteed. Bull Central, I don't think he knows I exist. I've talked about it. Like we have such different personalities. He's such laid back and mellow, whereas I'm over the top, loud and boisterous. I think an episode between us would be fun. But we'll see what's meant to happen. Artur's Fan Club. I've watched some of his. Somebody put me. I think it was. I can't remember. Somebody in here put me on to him. We'll see. I'm down to work with any Bulls creative. I think that Larry Nance Jr. could be a solid player to pick up at the deadline. Well, it depends. Again, if the Blazers, now we know that Dame is going out, but they announced McCollum's coming back. So we'll see what happens. But if they decide to like go all in on getting this draft pick as high as possible, maybe they get rid of Nance. So, or maybe they buy him out. Can't wait till has another one of these Vooch 30-point nights with 10 plus rebounds. Hey man, from your mouth to God's ears. Please, please, please. Thoughts on bringing Covington? He's not going to cost. I already talked about this, Hassan. And I just for everyone in chat, I don't want to rehash it, but I did already talk about this earlier in the stream, my brother. You hit it on the head. One of the biggest attributes DeMar offers the Bulls. He's a greater mentor for Zach, Kobe, and Io. Look how he's taken Io under his wing. Yes, and that's going to pay dividends, big dividends. Zach got mad game, but it's going to serve him best to work on them handles. Too many turnovers. That Zach bouncing the ball off his foot thing. Now, it was controlled for a lot at the beginning of the season. We're starting to see it rear its ugly head a little bit more. But yeah, man, that Zach bouncing the ball off his foot shit has driven me crazy for years. Good day, Haize. Finally, Foxtel in Australia and are playing a live Bulls game this season. The excitement. Oh, that must be your television. That's crazy. That's awesome. What time is the game going to be on there, though? What time is it going to be there when the game comes on? if the Blazers are listening to offers for Nance, he'd be great. They can have their pick back. I mean, they have their pick. That's the thing, though. That doesn't offer them anything. They have their pick because all they have to do is not make the playoffs, and they keep that pick. Well, I guess you're talking about the protections on it long term. I see what you mean there. Oh, shit, we got a pregame show. Yep, we got a pregame show. I'm about to end it in about 8 more minutes, though. Maybe we need to fall short this season so the team knows what pain feels like and is more experienced for next season. Hey. On the Give Me the Hot Sauce podcast last night, Zach said that he is going to work out with DeMar in the offseason. Good. I think they worked out a lot this offseason, too. I think they said that they both met up at the UC a week or so after he got signed or something like that. Bulls should be able to beat the Golden State Warriors. They got beaten by the Bucks. They're a real tough team to beat. It might be a close game, but we'll have to see how it goes. And they have a lot of key players out, as do we. It's going to be an interesting game. Millar Miller, I actually just talked about this like 3 to 5 minutes ago, bro. So, like I said, just for the interest of people who've been watching the stream the whole time, I don't want to rehash it, but I literally just talked about it. I'll recap it. He'd be a solid pickup for this team. Bulls can win with this current roster. P. Will's coming back from injury. From your mouth to God's ears, Karis. I hope so. All signs are pointing to that, but let's hope it actually happens. We have 3 great perimeter defenders, a couple of wing defenders, just missing a real rim protector now, for sure. I want a one-on-one, me and you, meet me 87th and Jeffrey at 10 p.m. tonight. All right. Who's guarding Steph? Is it Lonzo or Caruso? Lonzo's playing. Caruso isn't playing, so it's going to be Lonzo. Robert Covington 9 times out of 10 is going to get bought out. Nobody's going to pay him $12 million for just the one season, for just this season alone. Well, I mean, yeah, nobody's definitely going to pay him that much right now. Thanks, bro. I appreciate the answer. Keep up the good work. You're so decent, man. Great job. So decent. I'm decent. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you a lot, my brother. All AK moves set us up, not just for the present, but for the future. Very well thought out. Absolutely. This man knows. He knows. Games are on between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. depending on the time zone in Australia. That's not too bad, right? But I guess it was like during the workday. To be honest, only pieces I could realistically see the Bulls moving is Troy Brown Jr., Derrick Jones Jr., possibly picks. I think AK sees and understands the value of having P. Will and Kobe on this team. I agree. I think the Troy Brown Jr. could be very much trade asset in the sense of this. Think about it this way. If it's a player that a team just wants to get rid of, Troy Brown Jr., you don't have to re-sign him next year, right? But if he shows you something, you can re-sign him. And have the ability to match any deal by offering them a qualifying offer. And then, the Bulls really don't have picks to trade, though. We can't trade our own picks until 2025, I believe, or it's 2027, I think, as far as the first round pick. But I mean, trust this front office gets creative. If there's a deal out there that they want to get done, they're going to get it done. They're going to get it done. Summer, I've seen you ask this before. I don't do predictions. I don't do point predictions. I just don't do that. I don't do that. I talk about the themes of the game that I see, but I don't do predictions as far as numbers very often. Do you think we should trade Vooch? No. No Caruso for the next 3 games. Yeah, it sucks, but hey, we need to get him healthy. That's the key thing. Petty got to come out if the Bulls win, please. Petty comes out for specific reasons and naturally. I really don't pick when Petty comes out. I think people think I do, but I really don't. Fun fact, the Bulls have 2 players in the top 5 in 3-point percentage from players shooting 6+ 3-point attempts a game. Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine. Hey, they're dangerous. Kobe White always happy when the Bulls win, especially on the game winner by DeMar. He celebrates so much, that guy you don't want to trade. Listen, and they said that coming in. Do you remember when he was drafted? And then while he was being interviewed, he found out Cam Johnson got drafted in the lottery, and that excitement. He's a great teammate. He's absolutely a great teammate. Absolutely. If the Bulls don't have many turnovers tonight, they could win, and I gave a like on your channel. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you so much. Did you give a subscribe, too? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Carnell Randolph, seriously think, no, we're not getting Grant. And he would, even if we do, he doesn't answer a lot of what we need at all. We're not getting Grant. I'm willing to bet right now, and I'm doing a trade deadline special. By the way, I'm gonna keep plugging this because this is probably one of the craziest things I've decided to do since the start of this channel. I'm gonna start streaming an hour before the deadline, and I'm gonna stream up to an hour after the deadline. But I don't see the Bulls getting Grant. I don't see the Bulls getting Grant. Gary Payton is an important loss for Golden State tonight. He did a great job making DeMar and Zach shots harder last time we played them. Yes, any time having a defender, especially a defender on the wing like that, is key. And so, yeah, look at how we're missing Caruso. So, yeah, he's definitely in. Listen, I don't know who they're going to have to guard Zach and DeMar if they both get going. So, a Zach Randolph type. Who would be a comp for Zach Randolph in the league today? I'm not going to think about it. I don't want to wreck my brain. I'm going to leave that up to you. 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes. Carnell Randolph. Okay, fam. Remember, how about this? This is how much I'm willing to bet this. Carnell Randolph. After this stream is over, email me your information, right? So I can have your email and I'll save it. If Jeremy Grant becomes a Chicago Bull in this trade deadline, I will buy you a Jeremy Grant Bulls jersey. Guaranteed. I'm saying it on the live stream. You guys can hold me accountable. If Jeremy Grant is traded to the Chicago Bulls, I will buy you a Jeremy Grant jersey. That's how much I'm willing to bet on it. Oh, I like both suggestions. Julius Randle is a great comparison to Zach Randolph. And then following that up is no exact comp for Zach Randolph, but I think Cat is a rich man Zach Randolph. And then this one from Shay. Julius Randle is a great compare. I don't know about the Cat one as much, but the Isaiah Stewart and the Julius Randle comps, I like those a lot. Ball, no, not at all. Keep him far away from the Bulls. I just said Bulls don't need another project. The fact that trade got voided because of his medicals, fuck that. You remember the last time a player that the Bulls got to look at their medicals early? That was Michael Porter Jr. They didn't draft him because of what they saw in those medicals. And even though he put a great stretch together, we may never see Michael Porter Jr. being a strong, and guess what? The Bulls looked at those medicals. So no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. DeMar 42 piece. Remember the comment. I'm trying to manifest this in today's game or anything. Hey, I appreciate it. The power of manifestation is real. Peebo Bryson, nice. Let's see. Yeah, mate. Foxtel is our pay TV, which has ESPN on it. Game starts at 8:30 here in the West. Okay. All right. Need Lonzo to get aggressive. Feel like he only gets up when he's forced to, when one of Zach or Debo. Listen, I mean, what did he average on that stretch where Zach and Debo were gone? Like, literally, what did he average? Like 18 and like 8 or something like that? For sure. Jackpot is with me. Not happening, for sure. Bro, let's do it, and I will eat crow if not. Hey, listen. All I ask you is this. If you don't win this bet, right, which I'm confident you're not going to win this bet, all I ask is you do this. I'm going to put you on the Chicago Bulls Central Media team. I'm going to need you to email a bunch of people to listen to the damn show. That's it. That's all we're going to do. I'll match you, Haize. The next motherfucker to talk about a Miles Turner trade will get a free Turner Bulls jersey from me if they trade for him. Well, King Austin is taking it to the bank. All right, man. I am ending the stream. Vincent Harris, you motherfucker. But that's it, man. Carnell Randolph. I'm gonna end it on this one. Love the content, fam. You speak with a lot of sense. Respect all day. I appreciate you too, brother. And that's the thing. I fully believe, and I know I say this a lot, my opinion holds no more weight than anybody else's. I just share my opinion because that's what I'm here to do, is share my opinion. But I never want to make it anything like I have a better opinion about trades or anything, because I don't. I'm just sharing my opinion, man. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you people at halftime. Make sure you're here for the halftime hangout. That's it. Like I like to end everything on, man. I love you guys. Peace. Go Bulls. Go Bulls. Peace out, y'all.